After a series of hardships, you are finally on your way to some serious success. Things are balancing out for you right now. I think, though, that your success comes along with an individual who comes in your life with stability and an offer of romance or a deepening of romance that still is heavily involved with personal success, or in this case, shared success. The two of you will share a deep success. I have so many reasons why I want to say that, but I've already pulled all the cards. That's why I'm just getting right into the message. I am so pleased with what I'm seeing, although, especially if you're here from last quarter, you've been through these hardships, a lot of them, but you've mentally worked through things. You're planting seeds. You're throwing ideas at the wall to see what sticks, or whatever that expression is. And things are actually taking small motions forward. So there is forward progression, however small, but you have thrown a lot into the pot, or you have taken a lot of actions, or you've had a lot of ideas to make these changes. It's like baby steps of progress coming from several tiny efforts, or several little ideas that are turning into progress forward. So before we get any deeper, I want to say thank you guys for being here. Thank you for tuning into this frequency. This is a quarterly channeled message for the Rider Waite podcast. I am also the host of DragonflySpiritTV. I have not been doing a lot of readings over there because I too have been, I'm a part of this collective. So I have been working on many little ideas as I come out of a season of hardship. And I've noticed the needle moving. I've noticed a bit of success in all of my efforts to dig myself out of the trenches, is what I felt like last quarter. So welcome to a new quarter. This is a timeless reading, so it's going to find you when you most need to hear it. But if you're here at the time of this message, then I am right there with you in this energy of we are still pinching our pennies or holding on to the little things that we have learned in our dark days. We better cherish these a little bit better. And the progress is here. It's happening. Even if our circumstances haven't completely changed, as far as when we look around, we might still be working the same job or surrounded by, I would even say you might be surrounded by new people or no people. But if you have been alone in this entire season and you're still alone, I think you're still tasting that success that's coming to you. I think you're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, but I don't think that you see that there's somebody observing you at this time. It might even be somebody that you've had an interest with and decided to give up on that because they haven't been moving in the way that you would desire. You probably thought that the situation was lost to you completely. And yet, I just see this person going back and forth, but they have such a strong desire for you. They want to hold on to you and they want to cultivate with you. They might be a master of the thing that you're efforting toward. I'm seeing that this is about the Page of Pentacles, but it's the King of Pentacles that's right there. Right ahead of you, right in front of you, and they're going back and forth. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a male, take it as it resonates, but it is somebody who has mastered the material possessions. So this person might have a house and you don't, or this person might have a lot of money and you don't, or this person might just have a sense of stability that you don't really have. It is possible that you're in a season. I want to say this person might travel and you don't, but I have 8 of Wands here from 2 different decks. So that could be your creative ideas flying in the air. That could be messages coming in hot constantly, but I get the sense that you're sending out feelers. You're sending out the messages, really. But I do think those things are coming back. I got, a card of balance that is inspired by the Justice card. And it reads, I want to give you all that you have given me. So this person wants to reciprocate the care that you have given as they watch you focus on other avenues of your life because they did not decide to take you up on your initial offer. They felt that you were still cooking, and you know that you were. So you still needed to simmer, and now this person is simmering in a different way. So although they've had this material wealth and success, they are literally sitting here going back and forth. Let me tell you the other cards I have here. They're saying, maybe I love you. I don't know. Please be mine. So it's going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. They continue to try to pull away and just think and ground themselves. And then they get this urge, this surge of desire to jump toward you in a way that maybe you have done in the past, because I see that you're a type of person that you get a small seed of hope and you hold on tight. And then now in this present moment, you've decided, forget it. I'm just going to let it go because maybe things haven't been occurring in the way that you've wanted them to. And now here this person is, this King of Pentacles, this master of the material possessions. They're coming in with this rapid energy as well to match yours. If you're giving Eight of Wands, they're giving Knight of Swords and Eight of Wands. And I'm also getting, a back of the deck for them, the Fool card, as in they want to take a leap of faith toward you. So no, they don't know. They feel uncertain, but they know that they are falling deeply for you in a loving way. They said, I love you, exclamation point. But before that, they said maybe. So it might be maybe I love you. Maybe I love you. I don't know. Please be mine. That's the order that they came out. Other cards that came out, paradigm shift. So there have been perspective changes on each side. So I have, some fortunes that came out, and some new fortunes have been added to the pile. I don't eat Chinese food right now, so I'm not using fortune cookies, but I've been drinking teas, and those teas come with fortunes. So some of them are plant-based, some of them are not. So that is interesting. I just said I don't eat Chinese takeout right now, and that's because my favorite Chinese takeout foods, like they do have vegetarian and vegan options, but I'm eating vegan right now, and I'm eating a little cleaner, so I'm not eating that food, and I switched to tea, some of which have plant-based messages. So I'm wondering if somebody else is considering vegetarianism or veganism, especially with this King of Pentacles is shrouded in grapes. So that's the Taurus card. We know Tauruses love to eat. And this particular character has a lot of grapes, which is a fruit that represents luxury. So as they have gotten more grounded in material possessions, they have eaten even cleaner. They have a desire to eat cleaner, and they are really grounded in that healthy lifestyle. As well, as far as you, however, you are also represented back of the deck as Page of Pentacles. So while they're the king, you're the page. But what all of the luxury, all of that lifestyle that they live that's beautiful, that you almost covet, but you don't because you realize that you're working rapidly toward that. You already have seeds of that. You've tasted seeds of that. You've got a little bit of that going on. So I know, now I'm telling a little bit too much of my business, but the person that I'm thinking about eats vegan as well. So where I have faltered in that diet in the past and left the vegan lifestyle and came back, this other person, I think, has years of experience in veganism, and they're really comfortable and grounded in that. So I've had a taste, for example, of that lifestyle. I have planted seeds in that lifestyle where they are living it. So if you are called to try a plant-based diet, even if that's 1 day a week or 6 out of 7 days, or try it for a month or 2 months or half a year, I say go for it, because you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. But let's take a look at these messages. I do think one of these was plant-based. So yes, talking to plants is one way of talking directly to spirit. And the name of the person who said that is Rosemary Gladstar. So a lot of plants right there. Rosemary, that can be used and burned similarly to one would burn sage. Not that I'm suggesting that you burn sage. There are some schools of thought that suggest if you're not from a certain tribe, you shouldn't be burning sage. I'm not here to lecture you, but what I am saying is that a need to detach from people. Like I said, a lot of you are by yourselves right now. Maybe not everybody, because I have a strong feeling that many of you are interacting with new people, but many of you are interacting with no people. And I think that's something that you can continue. So even though you might be putting out a lot of feelers here, there, and everywhere, there's a strong need for you to ground yourself, even with the Page of Pentacles literally standing in a field. They're outside. Shoes are on, so they're not exactly grounding, but perhaps that is something that you want to consider. I'm even seeing the mountains in the background and the trees, and I'm thinking about the area that I'm gardening in. So I do want you to feel encouraged to do something like that. Growing your own food. I'm not sure if you've been paying attention to the other videos in the Rider-Waite series this quarter, but we had another guest this quarter who is also vegan, and that's Miss Epiphany Castro of Ink and Soul magazine, which is a creative living magazine. And not only has she been vegan for 16 years, but she also grows her own food. And she gave me a word that is French, and it literally means growing food to eat. And of course, I can't remember that right now when it's relevant, but maybe if I recall, I will put that in the comments and timestamp this moment. Hopefully I live up to that. But yes, so I do think growing your own food might be something you've been considering, having a plant-based diet. But really what I think this message is about, talking to plants is a way of talking to spirit. I think that message is just letting you know that talking to people about your circumstance is not really what you want to do right now. Focusing on what this person who is back and forth in their feelings about you, or not their feelings, they know how they feel. They just don't know what action they want to take, but they are about to take a rapid action. And the Knight of Swords in the deck that I used, that's our pip deck for the day. We always do a pip deck. And I'm not going to go into the details right now because I want to stay on track, but there is a present on the card, and I will get into it because it's really funny, and that is why I use this deck. We will get back to it, but I think the desire with the message of talking to plants to talk to spirit is really just to get off the subject of this individual who you have feelings for. You know that there is a chemistry, a spark, a potential connection between you two, but you may have already given up, and that's okay. That's a healthy place for you to be in this connection, because while you're certain, they're showing signs of uncertainty. They've created boundaries. They've raised walls, like the King of Pentacles is behind a high wall, and it's led you to put up a wall, or not even put up a wall, but focus on other endeavors. In the past, I see with this Four of Pentacles, you have held on really tight to this person, but also now you're in a more free energy in the present. You're letting that go. You're letting it fly as it should. You're letting the chips fall where they may. You've put out the messages, you've said the things, and you're going to let it land how it lands. And that is a really healthy action for you to take right now. So your action romantically is inaction. Wait for the moment where it's a heaven's yes. Like, if it's not a heaven's yes, it's a heaven's no. So if you're like, I should probably reach out. Should I reach out? I'm not sure if I should reach out. That's a no. It's heaven's yes or a heaven's no. Because if spirit was telling you to do it, you would feel good about it. Not just be in a position where nobody can stop you from doing it, but you would feel good about it. You would feel certain about it, and no one can stop you. That's when you send that message. That's when you reach out. Not when you really want to, but it feels negative. When you really want to, and nothing can hold you back. Because you just feel so powerfully good about it. That's when you reach out. Otherwise, mum's the word. As a matter of fact, my eyes are drawn to this other fortune. First word is silence. And when I was reading it, when I took it out, I said silence, but I said it like that was the whole whole sentence. I said silence. The whole message is silence the critic within. But I do think you have a lot of rapid thoughts right now, but it's in a healthier, especially if you're somebody who was here last quarter from that message, you are in a healthier headspace. There's still a lot of thoughts, but those thoughts are healthier than they were last quarter, especially if you were here last quarter, or if you heard last quarter's message, I should say. I do think this silence the critic within, the critic is pretty silent these days, I would guess, for you. Excuse me, especially I'm a part of this same, I just had a burp for confirmation, I guess, but especially since I'm a part of this same collective, my inner critic has gotten much, much quieter, and now the thoughts are healthier. But I do think silence is an important aspect of that message. I am called to go to two different things right now. So I want to go back to that funny card. But before we do, the final fortune that came out, love is the highest of all virtues. So I do think that is saying in the end, whoever this person is in your life that's or that has been around your life, but not necessarily deep diving in it, I think they're coming, they're represented by the King of Pentacles. I do think that they are realizing that in spite of the fear that they may have experienced that caused them to hesitate at your rapid energy and you're holding on tightly to them, in spite of all of that, they know that they desire love. It's the highest of all virtues. It's something that is given from the divine. It's given from source. So you've been talking to spirit, and when they talk to spirit, they will come into that alignment as well, that they do want love in spite of the fear, in spite of their walls that they've built, that they've had to put up. They realize not that you're like this last great chance at love per se, because, we don't believe in scarcity mindset over here. However, this person has to look at themselves and say, if I'm, potentially entertaining frivolous connections, but definitely ignoring this person who I think I have real, genuine chemistry with, that I could actually see a positive future with romantically and in a material way as well, where we could really have it all. If I'm denying this person, if I'm denying myself this person, then am I saying that I don't want love? And that's not the case. If they haven't realized that recently, they will very soon. Because the way I do my past, present, future readings, which I actually did this time instead of my normal, somewhat chaotic message, this is always in my mind the recent past and the near future. So this person is really coming into it very soon if they haven't figured it out already. But like I said, there's a lot of rapid energy in the present for both of you. So theirs might be in the mind as they've been represented by the Knight of Swords, but they are still, that's a card, that's a messenger card still. So they're both cards and messages. They also have the Eight of Wands. You both have the Eight of Wands. You both want to reach out to each other. Now, I don't think that's your place to do that. I think we have to leave that up to the other person. There is a chance, because typically I like to read like this, and I did not do that today. If you are the masculine, you might be the one who and if you're the masculine and you're listening to this, you might be the one who needs to feel encouraged to reach out. But typically, these readings are not based on gender, of course. These cards don't necessarily mean gender. So I have a masculine card here that could be a female person, but take it as it resonates. If you've been quiet in this situation throughout the whole thing, if you're the one that pulled away, feel encouraged to step forward. You both pulled away, but one of you pulled away initially. That person is the one that needs to take responsibility to return. And the other person who eventually was like, you know what, I'm just going to let it go because I'm not going to be the one, being anxiously attached anymore. That's something that you're familiar with this Four of Pentacles in your recent past. You've decided to let that go and focus on other avenues. You have a lot of other avenues to focus on. I'm hearing, I do not have time for this. I do not have time to be anxiously attached. I don't have the time for these types of feelings. So if you're that person that doesn't have time to be anxiously attached, waiting for an avoidant, hoping and praying, good. Don't reach out. Continue to not do that, because this other person, they want to take that responsibility. They're not certain what they're going to do. But honestly, with the cards I have and the dream that I had last night, honey, we're going to get into that as well. But this person, the person that I dreamt about, I knew it was going to come up in this reading because, like I said, I'm a part of this collective. It's been a back and forth energy of like, I don't know, but I love you. Maybe this is a bad idea, but I have to have you. Especially because I'm focusing on other avenues of my life, and that's what you're doing as well. So congratulations to those of us who have decided to focus on something else, to focus on the many, many, many other things that we need to be focused on, because that's how we're able to keep our head in the game. And if you're not able to keep your head in the game, I want to go back to this message of talking to plants. Go garden, go to the park, go for a walk. Why haven't you gone outside yet? I don't know why I said it like that. It felt like it needed to be said like that. So do take it as it resonates, because I'm clearly talking to somebody who hasn't gone outside in a long time, if that's the message it came to. But you have definitely been putting in work. So I'm so proud of you. You are building your material wealth and world up brick by brick. And I'm so delighted, because I think that you have felt the needle move. You are seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. So maybe you just got a small cash app for something that you didn't even realize people would want to pay you for. Congratulations on that victory. You might have just come into contact with somebody, reached out to them. Hey, I would love to chat with you about this, thinking they're not even going to see your message or talk to you because they're so far beyond in your mind. And turns out they're delighted, and they actually feel appreciative of you reaching out to them. They feel they're the lucky one. So I'm not going to get into all my business, but I'm seeing these cards. I'm seeing these cards and the messages are resonating. I pulled some other cards as well, and they have long messages, so I went ahead and read them first. But it was very much giving this idea that you've been through hardships, that people around you were going through hardships with you. They might have been relying on you to fix things, and really you needed to step back, get grounded. Hold on, let me see. There's one card in particular. Oh, but I also want to tell you the titles. So the arousing or the shattering, and then the other card, the small taming. So this person, they're going back and forth. And I saw another, what was the other one? Oh, I don't even want to say the other one because it's a little saucy, but it was, I don't want to say it. It was Six of Wands. Yeah, Six of Wands energy. So it was very intimate. One of them was I want you. And that's the same energy as the other one, except it's more PG. But it was, I don't want to say it. I'm sorry. But it was just basically this person finds you very, very physically attractive. And you heard that title, the arousal. So you have really seduced someone in your what you would deem as absence. So you've pulled back from direct communication with them, but they're watching you and they're seeing you glow. They're seeing you thrive. They might even know how hard that you've recently had it, or at least they've felt your energy shift from a lower, sadder energy to a more inspired energy. That's the word I want to say with all this Eight of Wands. And you had the Eight of Wands before they did, like even the placement. So they've recently become inspired, and I think that's through watching you. They're not only physically aroused by you, and really Wands, you already know what time that energy is on. So your arousal in your projects has created an arousal with them physically and also energetically and mentally. So they are they're seeing that their kingdom could be even greater with the addition of you. So although you're still coming up as a page, you have they have several coins maybe, but you have one that they don't have and they gotta have it. And then on top of that, that one coin that you have comes with you. They are so ready to take this leap of faith. They're back of the deck. This is a pip deck. Let's go back to these pip deck messages. A pip deck specifically means that a lot of the cards don't have images on them that one can read from. So whereas the Eight of Wands in a normal deck, it's showing me the wands flying through the air. I'm using the Rider-Waite Tarot, spelled differently than the podcast name here. And it's like one of the oldest known decks. And the other deck is a playing card. It's a Saturday Night Live deck. It's very lighthearted. I always go with the pip deck for something lighthearted. But when I do these readings in here, I typically go for my SNL deck. And in this particular deck, it's just a deck of playing cards. You know what I mean? So it's supposed to keep the messages lighthearted. It doesn't even have the major arcana except for one that appears in here twice. And that is the Joker, which represents the Fool card, which was our card of the quarter last month. Excuse me. Yeah, a card of the quarter last quarter. We'll talk about the one this quarter in a moment. But I really want to let you know. So the Fool card came out here, which is saying that although I picked a lighthearted deck, we're talking about something major, and I shuffled so well, okay? And the Eight of Wands actually came out before I finished shuffling, and I put it back. My jaw was on the floor, but I was like, we're still shuffling, and it still decided to come out again. But before it came out again, the Knight of Swords came out, and in this deck it's represented by I believe this one is specifically Justin Timberlake's version of, oh my God, I don't want to say it, but I'm going to say it, D in a Box. So the gift for this quarter, I hope you know what I'm saying, because I'm not going to say the word, but D in a box. Like, you're going to have to look it up if you don't know what I'm talking about. But this person definitely has a wand for you as a gift that they want to bring. And there is even a glass of champagne, I'm thinking, and they're dressed very nicely. So again, I'm thinking about the King of Pentacles. This person is, in a material sense, very wealthy. Even if they don't necessarily have a lot of money, they have a lot of charm, but they also know how to use the money that they do have to look very good. And there's a tiny message on here. Every single holiday. Yeah, every single holiday. So maybe they want to spend every single holiday with you, but every single holiday, and my eyes are going to the hand pointing to the gift, D in a box. And it's so funny because the way this deck is positioned, it shows the top half as that image and the bottom half as that image, as well, like sort of parallel to that, just like any other playing card deck. The Queen's head is at the top and the bottom of the card, or the Jack's head is at the top and the bottom of the card. It's the same image, it's mirrored. But the way that the hands are on this particular Knight of Swords, it is very much giving the Magician card as above, so below hand positionings, which is our card of the quarter, the Magician card. So I'm thinking about how the Magician has some magical control over all of the elements, okay? And it's making me think that this person is seeing your range in all of these things that you've been throwing, hoping something sticks. They've seen you have a lot more range. And wow, I just started thinking about my own situation and how true that must be, as I'm an author. For those of you who don't know, I am the fantasy author K.N. Robertson of Exposing Lesser Demons. But I also sing, and I write music, and I rap, and I host this podcast. I do tarot readings, and in my lowest moments, not in the last quarter, but the quarter before, which led into last quarter, I got deeply into meditation. You may have heard me talk about Blue Lotus, which I didn't have last quarter, but I had the quarter before, which was my lowest moments. But being on the Egyptian Blue Lotus flower, which if you want to try it, you might want to consult your doctor, but definitely read the reviews, because there are more fakes out there than the real thing. Asiatic blue lotus flower might also be something you want to try. I don't believe I've tried that, but if I did, the reason I'm not sure is because what I had the first time, it said it was Nymphia cerulea, which is specifically Egyptian blue lotus flower, but how it appeared, how it looked visually was like the Asiatic blue lotus flower. So I had a great time with it. It made me feel like there was no such thing as anxiety. It doesn't work necessarily that strongly on the first day, but by day 7, 8, 9, 10, I didn't know that it was so good for anxiety, but I was still trying it daily because I was not smoking what I was smoking before. So I wanted to try something different, and I was just hoping that it would work. But even though it wasn't working like I thought it would, by day 7, 8, 9, 10, I was like, why am I feeling so without anxiety? I need to look this up because I would be creeped out, but I can't be because anxiety does not exist to me right now. And I looked it up, and it basically was saying what I was experiencing, which is after about 7 days, after about 3 days, your cortisol levels lower, reducing your stress. And then after about 7, your dopamine levels rise. So you're also feeling better after, but on the first day you're keto. So it's like, it's really such a special plant to me. And I did not have it last quarter, but I have it again this quarter. So my mind is more at ease. I'm hoping that, it might be influencing you positively as well. I'm so sorry that I'm losing my train of thought, but I'm just also looking at all the messages while I'm speaking. Excuse me. So that might be a way that you want to talk to plants or communicate with plants to feel closer to the divine. But I do think the reason why I brought that up is because in that rough season, while I was also trying that plant, I was like, I'm going to take advantage of these good feelings, of these gentle feelings that I'm having, even though on paper, this is probably the lowest point of my life ever. So in having that Nymphia cerulea, or maybe the Asiatic version of, I thought it was the Egyptian blue lotus flower, so did the seller, but it might have been the Asiatic blue lotus flower. Either way, it was really helpful to me, and I took advantage of that by meditating deeply multiple times on what should I do, because I can't continue doing the same thing. And I didn't want a short-term plan like get a new job, even though obviously I was working on that as well. In that moment, I was looking for something more concrete where I was in more control, because I had the quote unquote good job. But what's crazy is my quote unquote menial labor job that I have right now pays me more, and it's less stressful. So, and even fun sometimes. So I took the safe route multiple times in my life, and safe has never paid off. I'm not even kidding you. So maybe that's something you've experienced as well, especially with the Four of Pentacles. This might literally be referring to your need to penny pinch because you've been in survival mode before. This is the recent past. So you might have really struggled in survival mode, but with the Page of Pentacles, it's making me think you might have also gotten an idea or a whiff of an idea or a taste of the potential that you have to create something really special. And that's what I was feeling in my meditation that led me to create Rider Waite. And I don't expect this to blow up overnight, but I do expect this to be something that in the long term is really special, not just to me, but to many people, because I didn't even want it to be just what it is now, even though I love what it is now. The person that I just interviewed this quarter, like I was talking about, you probably reached out to somebody thinking they would think you're small time and that you don't matter, but they appreciate you. The person who I interviewed this quarter and the person that she works closely with, they continue to show me appreciation. I did this interview in March. It is now May at the time of recording this. Excuse me. No, it is actually June. I don't know Yeah, it is June 3rd at the time of recording this. And that person, they both continue to thank me. And not only that, they, I don't want to get into all of it. I will get into it more on the blog, I believe, because I want to write a little article about them and get a little more intimate. So I don't want to put that here in the video. I might talk about it more in the article that I put on my website, knrobertson.com. In the Writer Weight tab, you will see, this is the second quarter, 2026. I talked about, exactly who I interviewed. You'll see that. So it's very easy to find. And of course, it'll be linked in the description. But I want you to know, like, that person who I couldn't believe said yes to working with me has been appreciative and full of gratitude from the second this project started, from the inception of this project all the way until now, when the long form video is done and posted and has been up for a few weeks now. And now we're just rolling out shorts. That's it. We're just rolling out shorts, and they're collaborating with me on every short, which is not a requirement. That's something that I told them. They don't have to accept any of them. They've accepted every one with full appreciation, and I feel so honored. They keep thanking me, and I will say they have provided me other opportunities, one of which I'm not going to talk about here, but I might in the blog, but the other of which is probably obvious. Their magazine, I am an author. They have allowed me to write an article for their magazine. And I say allow, they think that I'm doing them a favor. I think they're doing me a favor. And this is the kind of things that if you're not currently experiencing right this minute from all these feelers that you've been putting out, you're about to start experiencing that in a really big way. And I don't mean like one big thing overnight. I mean several little things that accumulate into these huge things. I don't think this King of Pentacles is just that person returning. I think that is what you're creating. You're mastering this physical reality. That's why you guys are vibrating on the same wavelength, because they have material success and you're creating material success. They're watching you and they're so proud of you, but they're also seduced by you. They see that you're much more than they could have imagined. And when they thought that they could live without you, they're realizing that it's getting more and more difficult. They never thought negatively about you. I think you know that. I think you know that this person still has a sweet spot for you, a soft spot for you, but you also know that they turned away potentially out of fear. Potentially out of fear, potentially out of disbelief, potentially out of fear that has nothing to do with you, but more to do with their past experiences. So what might be the lightest of yellow flags in you, to them is a 5-alarm fire level red flag because of what they experienced in the past. But they see you even more like the Page of, like King of Pentacles, but also Page of Pentacles are both sitting here in green ensembles, and they're having a hard time now not seeing that you're actually a walking green flag. They can't stop seeing it. They can't unsee it. And a big part of that is because when they put up boundaries and stepped aside, you let them go. Maybe not right away, maybe not overnight, but you let them go, or you are in the process of letting them go. You might have even disappeared for a little while. I know I did. I know I fell off just a little bit because I was like, I can't look. I can't, I don't want to be triggered. I'm easily triggered. There's triggers all over the place, and I don't want to stop supporting that person. So I had to look away, but I also want to be supportive. So I just completely disappeared so that when I return, I can handle it if I see them, and I can support them because I want to continue my support of that person. And they want to start to support you more. But now you're triggering them. They're sitting here like, maybe I love you. I don't know. Please be mine. They are going back and forth. Their mind is racing, hence the Knight of Swords. But they know that they have to give into this, because otherwise they're saying to the universe, you've shown me a really beautiful option and I'm not accepting it. What does that tell the universe? That tells the universe they don't want that happily ever after, because they're choosing frivolous things out of fear. And that's not what they want to do. They want happily ever after. It might be the deepest desire where it's not on the surface. I don't know if you guys know this, but avoidants actually have the deepest desire for romantic bonds and happily ever after. They want it so bad that it can't go wrong. It terrifies them, the thought that it might go wrong. So they run away because they're so scared it could go wrong. They're just like, forget it. And you have to let that go. You have to let them go. But as my energy is light, I expect that yours either is light or it's being lightened by this message, because you know that I'm right and you're letting them go. You look more like a green flag than when you used to hold on too tight in the past, rather it be to them or to somebody else. And now a big part of them wants to rush right back. But I think in your putting your desires into creative endeavors, they're inspired to do the same. And that's why they have been led to be in that Eight of Wands energy. But the two of you are so coming into energetic alignment. You're so coming into vibrational alignment. And again, I'm remembering I'm a part of this collective. And that's probably why the person that I am considering as the King of Pentacles showed up in my dreams last night. You know what I mean? And they showed up in this energy of, maybe, I love you, I don't know, please be mine. And that's literally the order of how things went. Like, they, sat next to me. And then they held my hand, and then they let it go, and they pulled back. And when they pulled back, what did I do? I looked to the other side of me, because I was like, actually, there's something going over here that I really want to pay attention to. And although it was in a form of another person, it's not somebody that I intend to be romantic with, and they're aware of that. But, we're in close proximity to each other without trying. So I'll just say that for fear of like spilling all the tea. But it's really not tea. It's just not just my business is how I feel. So that other person who, is in proximity in a way that is convenient to the lifestyles that we live, we have other projects. We have other, things that we talk about. So literally in my dream, it showed up that other person had this red box of Legos that they really wanted to show me. And I was into that. So I was like, instead of, worrying about what this person who I actually desire right here is doing in their mind, I'm going to focus on the red box of Legos. We're going to build something. Ooh, I didn't think about it like that until just now, but we're going to build something. We're going to play. We're going to create. We're going to have a good time. Because even in my dream, that other person, they held my hand, but they kept a distance with the rest of their body, versus the other person who would hold my hand tightly and lean into me and then pull away. And then they could sense that other energy. They know there's another person around me, but they can tell that they still have more of a chance than not, because I don't want anybody else. Like, even though that other person is wonderful, but even that other person knows that I want the initial person. They know that I desire someone, and they also know that I don't desire being an anxiously attached person anymore, and I'd rather give up romance altogether. I don't see this person like, this other person who, like, I'm not saying that they're not a great person, but they also just got out of a relationship. They're not looking for anything. I've been celibate for 2 years. They know that, there's nothing physical or hardly even romantic going on. We're just two wonderful people who are in proximity out of the convenience of the lifestyles that we live. And in my dream, they showed up as a person who was willing to just hold my hand and build Legos with me. And maybe that's all I can handle right now, because if I can handle more, then maybe the person that I requested from the universe would just be here right next to me. But they're coming closer, because in my dreams, they've altered their position in my life. And now I'm feeling more stable, and you might be too, because Four of Pentacles is a stable energy, physical, like in the tangible, but it's not healthy. It's holding on too tightly to things in a way that it could be a detriment. So as that money comes in, if you're like, I still need to eat beans and rice and beans, that's how my brain is. I literally was just like, as the money comes in, beans and rice and beans, because, I've still been in that scarcity mindset, but that scarcity mindset really doesn't serve you. It tells the universe, that you have a lack mindset. And so the universe is going to show you lack. So Even though, yes, I might still beans and rice and beans, I'm going to buy an avocado. You know what I mean? I'm going to let myself have a little something extra. And that's again on talking to plants. That's again on being plant-based. So I'm hoping in all of my sharing myself and being slightly vulnerable in my circumstance that you are hearing the messages for yourself as well. Your job right now, yes, you're throwing out those feelers, and yes, they're going to lead to material successes, some of which you're even tasting the rewards of right now. But again, I'm going back to this card of talking to plants is like talking to spirit, because I'm hearing you're creating fruit, not flowers. So although you can have, flowers this year, it might take 5 to 13 years before the flowers sprout. I said avocados, it could literally take 13 years from planting that seed until you have a tree that is bearing avocados. Do you hear me? It could take 13 years, okay? And let yourself know that in the meantime, you don't necessarily have to do without hold on, let me backtrack a bit. So that's what I'm saying. So although you might have flowers prior to, you're going to get some sprouts this year. You're going to see flowers soon. Maybe in another year or two, you're seeing a lot of flowers, maybe every year. I don't know. I don't have an avocado tree, but eventually there will be fruits of your labor. So you're getting a taste of that now as you're seeing the sprouts. I'm literally growing watermelon and peppers this year. I planted a lot of things. Those are the only things that sprouted, but those are the two things that I wanted most to grow in my garden, and I have it. So although I don't have a full watermelon to eat today, I am rejoicing every time I see those sprouts have gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. And I am so delighted about that, but I won't deep dive into that. I just keep going back to this Knight of Swords with the D in the box. This person wants to rush back to you. They're thinking about running to you with a gift. This might be a person who has been a little stingy with their wealth, probably because they've been taken advantage of. That might be one of those reasons why they're scared to pursue you or be pursued by you, because as much as they like you, maybe they have been taken advantage of for their status materially. But now they see you as a walking green flag. They see that you have cultivated a lot of things by yourself. They see you in the field planting seeds, tasting a little bit of that sweetness from your current I don't want to say harvest, because I don't think this is a full-on harvest, but you might have gotten to pick a pepper off of the pepper plant. You know what I mean? So there's still, more to grow, but they see you as somebody who maybe they can give to. Maybe they can bring you a tangible material gift. They might not be offering you everything right now. They might not be offering you that entire kingdom when they return, but they want to give you something else that you can enjoy. So while you're planting seeds, waiting for your avocado tree, and it could be a long time, they might bring you one of their avocados, or in this case, grapes, which take 5 years. Could take a little more. So I think 5 to 7 years is probably normal for grapes. So yeah, it took them a long time to get the material success that they have, and they know it's going to be a long time for you. But now they've been watching you. They're seduced by your efforts and inspired to be even more creative, and they want to reward you for what you're doing. They know it might be years before you see that success, and they want to give you a taste of it right now. So if you haven't tasted that success, know that it is coming, and know that it is even possibly coming from the hands of your beloved, the one that you might have even given up on completely, which is okay. This is not the time for you to watch them or reach out to them or even consider them. You might just need to pause. Like I said, you might need to be around no people. So even if you have communications with new people in a romantic sense, you might need to focus on no people, or rather focus on the abundance of plants that you can talk to, the abundance of land that you can stick your feet in. It's summer where I am. You can go to the beach. You know what I mean? There's a reason for your solitude right now spiritually, but I think this is also your last season of solitude. So get excited. But keep your eye on the prize too. So when you're not putting out those feelers, when you're not throwing pasta or ideas at the wall and seeing what sticks, you should be in your solitude. You should be in your quiet. I am not a doctor, but I am enjoying Egyptian blue lotus flower a great deal. I am enjoying meditation a great deal. So I do want to go ahead and wrap up this reading, but I want to thank you guys again for watching, and know that even if this is not your harvest season, you are still going to taste the fruits of your labor, even if that's by way of somebody bringing you a taste of that. So congratulations to you from coming out of that hard season. You can go ahead and release a scarcity mindset and know that the person who is on your heart is en route to you. And there's nothing that you have to do to further that connection. If anything, continue to stay off the subject, because if you are a fan of Esther Abraham Hicks, if not, maybe you should try it. That might be the next thing you should listen to. But for me, I spent 2.5, maybe 3 years listening to one video, 15-minute video a day after I got out of the shower and get dressed, listening to Esther Abraham Hicks and learning over time that if you're on the subject, go gently on the subject. Don't try to fill in specifics or fill in the specifics until it no longer feels amazing, and then stop it, because the universe is going to show it to you. The universe is ordering your steps, okay? You only have to do one step at a time. And right now, if you're here listening to this message, your step might be to get off the subject, because getting off the subject, according to Esther Abraham Hicks and my own personal experiences, actually makes that move along faster. So getting off the subject makes things move faster than going gently on the subject. But if it's hard to be off the subject, then go gentle on the subject. So I think even in your financial successes, that applies. You can go gentle. As you're throwing the pasta to see what sticks, as you're putting out feelers, it is okay to do so from a place of feeling good. So maybe go ahead and meditate first if you feel called to do just that. Talk to plants so you can talk to spirit. If you don't know how to talk to spirit, go coo at a little sprout in the ground. I literally said to my plant today, "Oh, there you are." And another one, "Look how big you are." And another one, "I didn't even know you were right there." So that I literally used to say gardening is the Lord's work. And I could go on and on about why. I could go on and on and on about why. I mean, I don't even know where to start. And I don't want to take up any of more of your time really talking about it, except the first thing that comes to mind is that the worst thing we can do with climate change is desertification. So maybe going to plant a tree is a great idea, because cutting down the trees at such a rapid rate is exactly what perpetuates climate change. So planting more trees might actually be a good idea if you feel called to do that. But growing what you eat is a good idea. So I know that I need to eventually figure out a way to grow my own avocados, even though my zone does not allow for that. It does, however, allow for grapes. So maybe that's something that I will look into. Definitely enjoying growing watermelon and peppers. They will harvest this year. So I'm really excited of enjoying my fruits of labor in that aspect. But don't worry about this person going back and forth, because even with this going back and forth, I can tell that they've chosen you. And remember, I got the card of reciprocity. I don't know if I said that word earlier, but it literally said, "I want to give you all that you have given me." And it was the scales on there, and they were balanced, as it is represented, as it is a derivative of the Justice card and the romantic aspects of that card. So go forth and prosper, and know that everything that you've put out into the universe is coming back to you in rewarded energy. So all of those feelers came out, all of those feelers that you put out, whatever comes back to you is coming back with positive responses. All of that creative energy that you're bursting at the seams with is birthing something really, really beautiful. Those seeds that you planted in this romantic desire for that other person, they are beginning to sprout as you're not watching them. It's almost as if you planted seeds native to where you live. So there's nothing that you even have to do to make them grow, because your environment, your natural environment, your natural state is exactly what's taking care of those seeds for you. There's nothing that you need to do. Just keep creating and also getting in alignment with spirit. So thank you again for listening. This has been a production of the Rider Waite podcast in collaboration with Dragonfly Spirit TV. I am your host, author K.N. Robertson. If you enjoy this and you want to continue to support this channel, you can do so by checking out the links in the bio and continuing throughout the playlist. There will be more content throughout the month of June, and I am going to start the next quarter probably early. That'll all be out in August, but I will start teasing at the next things potentially in July. So go ahead and subscribe. Check out the Instagram. There are a lot of clips, or I guess you don't have to check out the Instagram because there are going to be clips here as well. So go ahead and subscribe and hit the notification bell, please. If you really want to support this channel, hit the notification bell so that you can see everything that I put out, all the shorts that I put out. I would greatly appreciate that. Thank you so much for your time. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful quarter, and I will see you in the next message. Peace.